Okay. Have you ever felt that, like, nagging sense that something's just not right? Like the universe is playing favorites and you're definitely not the chosen one.
Oh, yeah, that feeling that things are just, well, unfair. I think it's pretty universal, like
Yeah.
a fundamental part of being human, you know?
Hmm.
We're kind of hardwired to notice when things are out of whack, especially when it directly affects us.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. You sent me this really interesting YouTube video. It's a transcript, actually, from this healing podcast called Why is Life So Hard Sometimes?
Oh,
It's from LEP Learn English podcast.
yeah, I thought it was super relevant to what we often talk about here.
Silly. And while the video touches on lots of general life stuff, it really digs into this whole idea of unfairness, why it hits us so hard, and what we can maybe do about it.
Exactly. So, in this deep dive, we're going to unpack some of the big ideas there, like not just acknowledging that life can be unfair, but trying to figure out how to deal with it. Maybe even uncover some surprising ways to look at those moments when things feel particularly unjust.
Sounds good. So right off the bat, the video talks about something kind of unexpected, this idea that imperfection, even unfairness, can actually be beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of counterintuitive, right? The transcript actually asks us to imagine a world that's perfectly fair. And, like, at first glance, that sounds awesome. But then it asks, what would we lose in a world without any bumps in the road? Like, where would the need for growth come from? The drive to learn and adapt, even the thrill of conquering a challenge.
Right, because if everything was perfectly balanced, wouldn't life be kind of boring, predictable?
Totally. The video even goes so far as to say that our imperfections, those things that make us different and make life unpredictable, are what actually make life interesting. They contribute to the real, like, raw beauty of life.
Yeah, I get that. It's like those imperfections are what give us our unique edges, makes each of us who we are.
And it ties into this other idea in the video, this idea of adversity as a teacher. Like, it uses this powerful image of a heavy storm, when it hits, it's intense, feels like something you just want to avoid at all costs.
Yeah, makes sense.
But the transcript then flips that around. It says that instead of seeing these challenges as just negative forces, we should think of them as teachers. They kind of force us to push past our comfort zones, and by doing that, we often discover a strength we didn't even know we had.
Oh, like when you work out, right? Lifting weights or something. Your muscles are stressed, it's hard, but that's how they grow back stronger.
Exactly. It's like building a resilience muscle. So those times that feel super unfair, maybe they're actually building up our capacity to deal with tough stuff.
And isn't that what resilience is all about? Like being able to bounce back from setbacks.
Yeah, it's not about avoiding challenges altogether, but about learning how to navigate them. And the video even says that it's often during those darkest moments, when things feel the most stacked against us, that we discover just how much we can actually handle.
Okay, so we're seeing how those experiences we label as bad or unfair could actually be opportunities for growth.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears a bit. What about the power of perspective? Like the video talks about that famous quote, life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it.
Yeah, that one's a classic. And it's super relevant when we're dealing with feelings of unfairness. It's easy to get hung up on that 10%, like the specific event that feels unjust, and let that negativity take over.
Right, like getting totally consumed by the unfairness of it all.
Exactly. But the transcript encourages us to really focus on the 90%, our reaction to the event. It says that's where our power lies.
And it gives some great examples too, like, missing out on a job you really wanted, which could actually lead you to an even better opportunity you hadn't even considered.
Oh, totally. Or maybe a setback forces you to reassess your goals or methods, and ultimately you end up with a much better outcome because of it. It's all about how we choose to interpret those events.
So instead of saying, woe is me, it's about finding the potential silver lining.
Yeah, like actively reframing the narrative in your head. And what's really cool is that over time, you can actually transform those initial feelings of frustration and anger about the unfairness into something positive, maybe even gratitude.
Wow, gratitude for something that initially felt unfair.
It's not about denying those initial feelings, but about actively trying to see the situation through a different lens.
So it's like a mental shift, like retraining your brain to look for the good.
Exactly. Now, that said, it's definitely easier said than done. Like, when you're in the thick of it, when you really feel wronged, those negative feelings can be overwhelming.
Right, like when you see someone less qualified get that promotion you were hoping for. The video talks about the impact of resentment in these situations and the power of gratitude as a counterbalance.
Totally. And it acknowledges that it's totally natural to feel resentful when things feel unjust. Like, those are human emotions.
But the transcript cautions against dwelling on those feelings. Like holding on to resentment can really poison your outlook on life.
Yeah, it can eat away at you. But the video offers gratitude as a powerful antidote, like making a conscious effort to appreciate the good things in your life, no matter how small. A good cup of coffee, a sunny day, a kind word from a stranger.
Okay, so how does focusing on those small positives help when you're dealing with bigger issues of unfairness?
Well, if you think about it, when you focus on gratitude, you're directing your attention towards the good. And it's really hard for your mind to be consumed by resentment and genuine thankfulness at the same time.
Ah, so you're kind of crowding out the negative by focusing on the positive.
Exactly. It's a subtle shift, but it can have a huge impact on how you feel overall. Now, what about when that feeling of unfairness is really deep-rooted and it lingers? What happens when it turns into bitterness?
Yeah, the video talks about the importance of letting go of bitterness. Like, it uses this really striking metaphor, describing it as a heavy weight or a heavy backpack that you carry around with you.
Ugh, I can feel that just thinking about it.
Right, like who wants to lug around all that negativity? And the video says that consciously choosing to let go of that bitterness, as hard as it might be, can actually make you feel lighter, happier.
It's like taking a huge weight off your shoulders. And the transcript has this really interesting take on forgiveness, too. It says that forgiveness isn't about condoning the actions that caused you pain. It's more about doing yourself a favor. It's about freeing yourself from the grip of the past.
So it's not about them, the person who wronged you, it's about you.
Precisely. It's about refusing to let the past control your present and future.
So even if they never apologize or admit wrongdoing, you can still choose to forgive for your own well-being.
Exactly. It's about reclaiming your own inner peace.
That's powerful. Now, the video also talks about something that's really important when we're dealing with these feelings of injustice, and that's the role of supportive relationships.
Right. It acknowledges this, like, hard truth that life can be really unfair. And it says we all need comfort and understanding during those times. We need people we can lean on.
Yeah, like a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear.
The transcript stresses the importance of having friends and family who are there for you without judgment, who offer support and validation.
It's like a reminder that you don't have to go through tough times alone.
Totally. It even uses this great analogy. It compares life to a journey through a dark and scary forest. When you're alone, it's easy to get lost, to feel overwhelmed. But when you have people with you, it's like having a team with flashlights, helping each other navigate the obstacles and celebrating the small victories along the way.
I love that. Okay, so even with a good support system, you might still be wrestling with that sense of unfairness. And that's where the video introduced this idea of finding and nurturing a sense of purpose.
Yeah, this is where it gets really empowering because even when everything around you feels chaotic and unfair, you still have control over your own inner compass. You have the power to choose what gives your life meaning.
The video says that purpose is like that driving force, the reason you get up in the morning.
It's what brings you joy and direction. It could be anything, really. Helping others, being creative, making the world a slightly better place in your own way. It doesn't have to be some grand world-changing mission.
Right, it's about finding what lights you up, what makes you feel fulfilled.
Exactly. And the video makes a really important point here. It says that finding your purpose isn't about ignoring the unfairness in the world, but about choosing where you focus your energy. It's about actively engaging in your own journey and making choices that align with your values.
So it's like taking ownership of your life, regardless of the external circumstances.
And the transcript uses this beautiful metaphor, nurturing a seed of purpose. It takes time and patience and a lot of faith, especially when you're going through tough times.
Yeah, like tending a garden. You have to weed out the negativity and cultivate the things that will help your purpose grow.
And the video ends this section with a really powerful message. It says that incredible things can happen when you dedicate yourself to nurturing that inner sense of purpose, even in the face of injustice. It gives you a sense of meaning and direction that can carry you through.
So when you look at the video as a whole, it's not about pretending that life is fair. It's about acknowledging the unfairness, but then choosing how you respond to it. It's about building that internal resilience and finding ways to move forward.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that you have more control than you might think. And that's really where the hope lies. The transcript concludes with this beautiful thought. Life may not always be fair, but the way we respond to that unfairness is what truly matters. And it circles back to those key things we've talked about. Embracing imperfection, finding strength in adversity, choosing to see things from a new perspective, leaning on the people who care about us, and nurturing that sense of purpose.
And at the end of the day, it's a message of hope. Like even when things feel really tough, even when life feels incredibly unfair, there's always something we can do. We can always choose how we respond, how we grow, and how we move forward.
I think that's a really beautiful message to leave people with. It's empowering.
It is. So as you go about your day, think about this. What's one small step you can take today to shift your perspective on a challenge you're facing, or maybe to nurture your sense of purpose? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been great.